Hey, we're Debbie and James, and we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we've created, our new healing modality called Spiritual Alchemy. James and I have been in the healing and metaphysical industry for a really long time, 40 years combined, and we've also done over 27,000 sessions between us. So we kind of feel like we've mastered the art of metaphysical healing in this world. And we'd like to share with you what we've come up with after all of these years of our study and practice sessions, and how we've developed what we call spiritual alchemy, which is a unique healing process that we've developed together. And I'd like to also mention and honour all of the teachers and all the people that we've worked with and studied with over so many years. I know that, between NLP, hypnosis, holographic kinetics,
HK,
constellation
family
work,
constellation therapy,
energy healing that we've studied. I've done astrology, numerology, all of the different archetyping programs. We've kind of just done so much between us.
Native American Indian healing.
Yeah, you studied with Tom Brown Jr., the amazing Tom Brown Jr.
A lot of stuff.
And we've come up with something that's really unique and really quite incredible. So we wanted to share a little bit about that with you today and what you're going to learn if you study this modality with us. And so James is going to take you through the process, and I'm going to chime in and out in the bits. So it's on the whiteboard behind us, and I'm going to let James go for it.
So the modality we've named is Spiritual Alchemy because we'd love to see in the future, people saying, I'm going to go and see a spiritual alchemist and work on my stuff. And so what we've done here is we've looked at all the different things we've done, and then when we started observing in all the sessions we've done, we really saw what sort of worked well with people in certain situations and what didn't. And we're able to sort of piece together some of the key pieces of the puzzle that we feel is important when you're looking at creating what you want. And so we've called it Spiritual Alchemy. And the alchemy is, transmitting the lead to gold. So we looked at this, and there's a famous quote by Socrates that says, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And we really feel that's a really good way to start off the modality. So what we do is we look at setting the intention. So instead of people coming and sort of having a list of what's wrong, and then we look at why is it wrong, basically, we say to people, what do you want to create? What's your intention? What's your vision that you're going for? And then we use these different universal principles of energy to set up a creational field. So we get the intention. Let's just say they say, we want to create, a beautiful, loving relationship, for example. And we empower that vision. We get them to really empower that and build the energy of it. So it's like you're choosing a point in creation, and we're really giving that strong energy. We're really putting the energy into building what we want rather than looking at what we don't want. And then if you imagine it's like a national park, right? You rock up and this is where we want to go. We've got this beautiful vision of a loving relationship, but we also need, when we go there, we need the map, don't we? The map of consciousness, and we need to know where we are. When you go to a national park, you can see the map and it's got, you are here. Because that way we can then make a path. We can make a path to get there. And then what we do is we set up this creational field so that we're really just dealing with you and what you're creating, because there's so much information flying around everywhere these days. We want to create a nice creational field so all parts of your being know exactly where you are and where you want to go. And then what we do is we basically get your higher self, this part of you that is, at the top here, and every lifetime you've ever had, all your experiences, your higher self is kind of like looking down, observing it all. So it knows all. And so it can sort of show us and tell us, everything that's gone on. And so what we do is we get the higher self to basically scan all the different fields of you. It's almost like doing a virus scan on your computer, and that brings up all the things that are stopping it from operating optimally. And we get your higher self to scan your spirit, your mind, your emotional body, and your physical body, and to bring up onto the path everything that's in the way. So in other words, you'd already be there, you'd already have that loving relationship if it wasn't for these certain things that are in the way. And there's all different things that can be in the way. It can be, previous relationships, people. It can be unlucky in love handed down through the ancestral line. It can be all sorts of different things going on. And what we do then is we then perform spiritual alchemy. We then perform a whole lot of different processes to transmute the lead to gold. And we take these blocks that are in front of you and we end up doing healing on them so they become these beautiful resources behind you on your path, helping you step forward into your vision and create what you want. And Deb's going to talk to you about some of the different processes we use.
Yeah, so when we come to the idea of performing alchemy to change something that's blocked to a resource, You know, you're a unique human. Your path is unique. What's happened to you is unique. And there's lots of different ways through that. So some things are about cutting cords to other people or letting projections from other people go. Sometimes it's about inner child stuff or part-time personalities that were developed in your childhood because you were coping with something traumatic. Or sometimes it's ancestral. You know, things came down through mum or dad or aunties and siblings. And so the idea is sometimes we're looking at ancestral patterns. So we have processes to deal with ancestors. Maybe it's past life. Maybe you agreed a contract with someone in a past life to be with them together or to look after them. Sometimes it could just be this subconscious, hidden, mind-based stuff that's brewing in you. And let's face it, like your spirit or your metaphysical self is pure in its essence and its opportunities and what it can do. But your mind, your human emotions can really bog you down. And I'm not saying that the human emotions are bad. We're all human. You know, we're born into this spacesuit and we're operating as a human. However, those things can like sit in us and they can block us and create fractures. And so what we're looking at is like, what did you create in your small self or your human self that's limiting you? Where if you can access your higher self, your spirit self, you can unlock it metaphysically, and therefore it integrates into the physical and opens up stuff for you. So like James said, we really want to get you up to the vision. We want to get you back to where you want to go or where you want to be. It's just how do we take those blocks and fractures, change them with the process, not hate them, not deny them or suppress them or get rid of them. We don't even want to take them off your timeline. We want to transform them and alchemize them so they become resources, wisdom and gems within you. So we're not denying your timeline, we're opening it up to be a resource, not a block. And when you don't have blocks, you get to your vision a lot quicker. So there's lots of different processes. I reckon there'd be 50 different processes in that. We're going to teach you as many as we can in the time that we have.
Yeah, and some of them, really powerful ones like, handing back to your ancestors what you've been carrying for the lineage. That's a really powerful one, isn't it?
That's true. And also retrieving parts of yourself. So retrieving parts of your soul that's been stuck in time and bringing back to you. Because that can be really powerful too. Parts of you getting left with someone or locked in space-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you those processes and we apply them so we can transmute these blocks to be these incredible resources. Then once we've done that, we've transmuted and alchemized the blocks into resources, we then clear out anything that might be in the way. Energy weapons, oaths, agreements, hooks, cords with other people. We clear those out. And then what we do is we actually connect you to your resources from your infinite self. And this is really important because, just like if we go back to the national park example, if we're going here, and this is a bit of a journey, you need certain resources to be able to get there. You need good walking shoes, you need a backpack, some water, a jumper if it's cold. If you're going to create a beautiful, loving relationship, for example, or health, if you've got some sort of illness, you need certain resources from your infinite self. And they could be frequencies of light, color, sound, certain crystals, energy from the earth, whatever it is. You can create these energies from your infinite self and activate them and move them through your being. So you've got the resources you need to actually step into your creation. Could be certain emotional states, such as being open-hearted, trust. You might need to really build trust in your field of energy to be able to step into a vision of love again, And so that's a really big one. That's a lovely process we've got for connecting you to the resources you need.
And they're not always internal resources either. Sometimes, it could be a trust state or an inner state. And sometimes it's like, what do I need from my external world to support me as well? Yeah. And the only thing that stands between you and getting what you want is a resource. And that's why we want to change blocks to resources and then add extra resources that you need.
Absolutely. And so, and you've got some really good frameworks and models and coaching things to help people, getting what they need for their resources. Then what we do is we really get people to then, once they've got that, we get them to really step into their vision, step into what they want to create and really experience it. And this is a really beautiful shamanic thing called empowering your vision, where you're not just watching yourself doing it, you're literally in there experiencing it if it's done. For example, if you were sailing a boat, you'd feel the spray of the salt water in your face, you'd feel you're holding the rope and it's burning your fingers, you can smell the salt air, you're really in it. And so we get people to step into that as if it's already done. And then we have this incredible way of bringing that vibration through all parts of them so they're matching it. So their desired reality becomes their current reality, wanting the same thing, because you'd have that already if you were vibrating that way. And so that's the key, is the vibration. And so what we do is we record that final state that goes for about 10 minutes at the end, and you get to listen to it every day, or your clients do, so that it helps them match that vibration. And it's a really beautiful thing we've got there. We then do a left and right brain intuitive and logical process to make sure that we've got whole brain learning and integrating it down through all the fields of the being. Because really we're sitting here, we're sitting in the physical world, in the mind, in the normal world. We go up into the metaphysical realms and we do all the alchemy, and then we have to bring it back down into the 3D world again, the physical world again. And so there's a certain process you need to do that for it to be effective, to ground it into the reality and get physical results.
And with that too, we talk about the law of action here, about putting something into the physical reality. We also then provide some coaching tools to be able to lock that in and anchor that physically. So apart from the matching vibrational recording, which gets it anchored and matches your cellular frequency, we also give you some tools that you can utilize after or in sessions or at the end of sessions to help people lock and anchor that in. A really good one example I'm going to share with you is just that understanding of the yin and yang balance. And some people need to be more yin and inward, and some people need to be more yang and outward. And so we give you some ideas of how you can send people off with some tools to then further support what they're doing. Things like noticing what's in your reticular activating system and growing those energies and thoughts. So there's a lot of stuff that we do once you alchemize, just to get the physical anchored and locked in, so that it's not just in the metaphysical world.
There's also, we teach you how to, we teach you how to go through a session. If someone wants to come for a one-off session and they want to create a loving relationship or physical health, we teach you how to do that. But we also have a model where we teach people, if someone wants to come and really perform spiritual alchemy across a whole bunch of areas in their life, we have a formula of, where someone would commit to, say, a group of sessions, and we have things where we look at, their firstborn cell and how to do alchemy on their firstborn cell. We look at priority things that are affecting them through different areas of their life. So we've got like a model or a process that we could take people through, where they could commit to a group of sessions and really create quite a bit of change across lots of different areas of their life that we talk you through as well. So there's kind of two areas, isn't there? There's individual one-off sessions to create one thing, or there's like a set process we put together where you can really create massive change in someone's life.
Yeah, it's a bit like a menu. So if you want to do this specific process, it might take so many sessions and you go through a certain set of processes. So that's really powerful if you want some structure to how you'd run some sessions. This is what we're teaching. The way that we're doing it is we're sending you some pre-video training to get some concepts really earthed and grounded, so that you know what you're coming into. Yeah. We then do 5 days live in-person training, the two of us, smaller groups. We're not massive groups, but we're sort of sizable groups where we help you train in all the processes live. And then we have some follow-up tutorials on Zoom or online where you can embed some of these practices, and we teach you some additional things that can be taught via distance. So that's how we run the training. There's options to have further mentoring if you need it, but that's the 101 spiritual alchemy training. So we think it's pretty amazing. We'd love you to come along. Yeah. So if you've got any questions, send them off to James or I. We'd be really happy to answer them.
Thanks so much for listening.
Hope to see you there.
Take care.